2 days into the new year, just barely for me here out in Arizona, out by the desert. And today I want to talk about the doubts and the fears and the uncertainty that we feel that's keeping us from taking intentional action and purposeful action towards getting the clients we desire to have and serve in 2025. Now, one thing, so I'm 30 seconds into this and I want to see if that part recorded. As I'm learning how to do these YouTube lives, I'm also learning some things that I will share with you at the beginning of each recording or each day's live session. So, one thing that I have noticed when I've watched the replays is the first, I don't know how many seconds gets cut off. So, um, just sharing that so you'll know when and if you decide to go live. There could be a slight delay. So, you want to greet people perhaps, and so good morning, let me know where you're watching from. If you're catching the replay, I would love to know in the comments where you're watching from and type replay so I'll know. So I'm feeling a little bit unsettled today, and here I am showing up. This is what I talked about yesterday. For my coaches and healers out there, and for business people who want to use social media to promote and market your business, showing up is the key factor. You know that, right? And it can be easy to get caught up in the busy work of worrying about things that don't really need to be worried about at this point in time. We all have our journey, right? We've got the steps, step, 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 step. Oh, and I wanted to, forgive me, I was watching a video yesterday that said, oh, and you can see how the sun is, for how to set things up. So, little tip that I learned is that you want your eyes to be like in the upper third of the screen so that it shows more of your body. I really don't like the way that that is casting a shadow. So I am going to, forgive me. See, this is all a learning process. Oh, I kind of like that lighting, but that will be a little bit too much. So let me move things, see if this changes the angle just enough so that, yeah, that's not too bad. So the point that was made, so I had always heard have the camera eye level, and this person was saying that it's actually better to have it have your eyes be in the upper third of the screen, so there's less room up here, you can see more of my body, and just makes you more relatable. It's easier to see my hands as I'm using them instead of them being way down here. So these are all tips and tricks that I'm learning. So we don't have to be perfect on this journey. And that's where our uncertainty can come in at times, because we want to do things right. We don't want to look silly. When I was about 25 years ago, I joined Toastmasters International to learn public speaking skills. And the hardest thing about that is you can't do it on your own. You have to do it in front of people. You're speaking in public. Social media is no different. We are speaking in public. Yes, we're speaking to a camera, a lens on our phone, and we know that it's going out there, especially when you're recording live and not just pre-recording videos to put out there. Excuse me. And it's a little unsettling, and it feels uncomfortable, and we're uncertain if we're doing it right. And we realized that we had things set up. So what I could have done was I could have just canceled, closed out this live session, reorganized things, moved it to something that I liked better, and then started again. But knowing myself the way that I do, I probably would have been so flustered that I would have just stopped and just said, I did it today, that counts. And I just would have, put it as unlisted on YouTube, deleted the video, and pretended it never existed. But I am embracing my doubts, my fears, my uncertainties this year, because it's time for me to make a change. For more than 25 years, I have wanted to do something in the online space that generates an income. For decades, I thought it was coaching and healing. And I took the courses and I learned the skills, but it never quite resonated with me. It never quite aligned. And then a couple of years ago, I read a blog post that someone asked her what her goals were And she couldn't think of anything. And then she said, someone said, well, because she was also a coach, she said, do you want to be like Oprah? And the woman sat for a minute and sat with that. And she said, I really don't want to be like Oprah. I want to be Oprah's coach. And that resonated with me. I don't always want to be in the spotlight. I don't want to be the big celebrity figure in my space, right? Like Oprah, Taylor Swift. They are huge celebrities in their fields, right? And I don't want that. I have never wanted that. I like my quiet world. I'm living out here in the middle of the desert, and I like this. This gives me peace. So, not everyone wants to be celebrity status. And for those of us who don't, it can really hold us back when we start thinking, when people say, oh, you're doing videos, what if one goes viral? Aren't you excited? It's like, no, that really terrifies me. My husband watches a lot of YouTube channels. We watch a lot of nomad channels. And so sometimes we'll be out and he will see someone that he recognizes with a channel. We're near Quartzsite, Arizona right now, which for nomads it's a winter haven for snowbirds. The city goes from, a couple of thousand year round in the summer to probably, I don't know, a gazillion people in the winter. It's crazy. We're starting to see the influx of people right now. January is crazy. And so he will see people that he recognizes and he kind of fanboys over them. It's like, oh, that's so and so. And I don't care. And I don't want that for myself. I don't want to have to go further off, excuse me, into the desert so that people won't bother me. And so making my small mark in the world, what I want to do, like this other person, is I want to help people step into the spotlight that they truly desire. For me, I like to step into it every once in a while. I I do love doing these videos. I'm still a little rusty with my public speaking skills, but I really do enjoy doing this. And if I can make the impact, if I can expand my impact by doing these, by helping you to expand your impact, that's when my heart really sings. So you have your uncertainties, and I get that. And you have your doubts and you have your fears. And most of us don't want to look silly. Some people don't care. And God bless them, they don't care. But for those of us who take ourselves a little bit too seriously and we don't want to look foolish, we think it looks unprofessional, and we have all of these beliefs in our heads, we have all of these self judgments in our heads, and we see other people doing what we want to do, and we want to do it like them, but we're not like them. And so we can't quite get there. And then that, rolls into those doubts and those fears and those uncertainties. And maybe this isn't what I was supposed to be here to do. And we have all of these things rolling around in our heads and we do nothing. We stuck in that spot of complacency and we do nothing. We do busy work. We work on our websites. We work on the copy for our websites. We write blog posts. We might make some social media posts, but they're safe and they're not really good in the sense that they're not intentional to actually do what we want them to do. Here's what I mean by that. So we write something that we think is really good, and it is really good, but it doesn't invite whoever reads it to take action, to come work with us, to learn more. And that's scary because that feels like rejection, right? If we ask you if you want to do something and they say no, it's hard not to take it personally. But the thing is, the reality, when you look at your own behaviors as a consumer of content and products, when you go to a store, you do not purchase every item in the store. When you're consuming social media posts, you don't stop and completely read and become really absorbed in every single piece, right? You just scroll by, just like so many of us do. So the challenge for us, our opportunity is to be consistent, to keep saying the same thing over and over again. I am in this program that's teaching me social media marketing. And my goal, my hope, my intention is to use this resource as a resource for other people to learn, other coaches and healers to learn social media marketing so that they can fill their practices, so they can achieve their goals, their dream, that sense of self fulfillment that they desire to fill. And I'll be honest with you, I feel so alive since I joined this program. It has been the bridge from my past failures, my past attempts to be a coach or a healer to my dreams because it feels very comfortable, it feels natural. It's still challenging, it's still expanding my comfort zone, but it feels sustainable to me. In the many programs I've been in before, let me know if this sounds like you. Let me know in the comments how many different coaching programs with the business aspect of how to create your signature program, how to fill your program, 6 figures in 6 months type of programs you've participated in, or even if you've really considered them. And then you get into them and you realize that's really not for me. And that's what I actually discovered was so many of them, they sounded great. For the period that I was in the program, sounded great, but they weren't activities that I could sustain. As an example, one program I paid $10,000 for it. I have no regrets about spending that money. I learned how to, or what I did was I outlined an 8-week signature program. I called it Activate Your Individuality. I love this program. Sold not a um, single option into it, not a single client purchased it. We'll just go that way. Sometimes I feel like, was it Elmer Fudd or who was it that always stumbled and stuttered over their words and then found another word? So I didn't sell any of my signature Activate Your Individuality program, but I made some great friends in that program. Oh, so my point was going to be, so her method was to use Facebook ads to create a Facebook group that was free. Facebook ads would bring people into the group. Every day you go into the Facebook group, you do a short 2 to 3 minute video talking about the transformation that you provided with them, really strong on the pain points, and say in the end, message me to learn more about this program if you want to work with me. And I was doing that. And I paid, I think over the course of 6 or 8 months, 6 months, I think I was in the program, I paid about $1,500 in ads, which I didn't mind. And I got people into my group, not as many as I would have liked, based on, but my ad numbers were okay. And I didn't like being the leader of a Facebook group. I didn't like being the face of the Facebook group. Um, and her method of really, really driving home those pain points. And I didn't like that because I'm not a person who focuses on the pain and the distress. I see something that's uncomfortable and I will move myself towards something better. And I don't harp and live in the past of the woe is me that has never been the way that I am. I see the contrast and I say, oh, I would rather that. And I'm also very forward thinking. So I set goals just to set crazy goals. 200 pounds overweight, or not 200 pounds, weighing 200 pounds. I set a goal to do a 3 day, 187-mile bike ride. I had a $99 bike from Walmart. It had 10 speeds. I knew how to use 3 of them. And still I did this. And I successfully accomplished it. So I set goals to see who I can become rather than getting away from something. And so, with that type of personality, creating a group, focusing on the pains and harping on the doubts, the fears, the uncertainties, you've already experienced them. I don't need to keep reminding you of them. I don't need to guilt you into going for your dreams. I would rather sit here and say, it's possible. If I, at 200 pounds, can ride a bike for 3 days, 187 miles, from the mountains of Maine to the coast of Maine, you can do whatever it is you want to achieve your dreams. And this program that I promote, that has been teaching me what I'm doing, is it's serving as a bridge between my past failures, my past attempts to start a coaching business, and it's serving as a bridge to my dreams. And it's a beautiful bridge. It's, let's see, what type of bridge would you like? Do you like suspension bridges, or do those terrify you? Do you like wide bridges with traffic on them, so there's a little bit of excitement? You feel the road, the traffic moving the bridge a little bit. Do you like it high above water? Oh, so many options for bridges. I kind of like suspension bridges. Do you remember? I think it was in the Indiana Jones bridge where they're walking across the big chasm, and there's the raging waters underneath, and just the thought that someone on the other end could hack away at the bridge and all right, maybe that's not the bridge I want to walk on, but if you a beautiful bridge, and it's been wonderful, it's been fun. But we do have our doubts and fears that are holding us back. They're keeping us from walking on that bridge. And it's natural. It's normal. And don't beat yourself up if you have the doubts and the fears and the uncertainties. My question to you is, what are you going to do about it? Because you can live with them, and they keep you small, and they keep you safe, and they keep you protected. But your dreams are way out there. And are you willing, like right across from me? I'm going to see, let's see if I can do this, say way over there. See, there's mountains. Now, if you have your sights set on those mountains over there, you can't get to them if you stay exactly where you are. In fact, let's see. Oh, there's a bush behind me. So right behind me are 4 peaks, and there's a mine up there. And Christmas Eve day, I walked over there. It was about 6 miles, 6.5 miles round trip. But I've been looking at those mountains and saying, I want to go over there. But it's a little uncomfortable. I was a little afraid. What will the roads actually take me there? But you have to take action. So today I invite you, and I didn't put it in the comments, but I didn't write it down. All right, so lesson learned. Write down. I'm just jotting a note, please. And I meant to put it in the description, and I forgot. Link. See, we're going to forget things, and it's not the end of the world. So, I don't even know how to say it. Moving on. All right, so you have your doubts and your fears. So type a link in the comments, and if you're interested, and I will put the link. I will send it so that way you'll get notified of it. But here's what happens sometimes. You're scrolling on social media, and if you've ever bought anything on social media, you know what I mean. You see an ad, or it may just be a post. It's not always ads. Sometimes people write their copy so beautifully, or they have inspiring videos, and you'll stop and you'll watch it. And you'll think, wow, I wonder if that's for me. And what's the first thought that pops in your head when they invite you to take action? What's the first thought? Think about that for a minute. For me, it's always, how much is it going to cost? What are they trying to sell me? What are they really trying to sell me? And typically, I will just keep moving on. But sometimes I will save the post so that I can go back and look at it later. And did you know that from what I've learned is typically if you look at if you click into a post, whether you follow a link outside of whatever platform, that the algorithm is catching that delayed time. And so it will show you more from that creator, especially if you like something or you make a comment. It's going to feed you more from that creator. And it may feed you more from similar material to that creator because all of these social media platforms, they want you to stay on their platform. And they do a really good job of keeping us trapped there, don't they? So, from the consumer perspective, when you see an ad, your first thought, for mine, it was, what are they trying to sell me? How much is it going to cost? And typically, I will decide in the moment that no, I don't want to buy. I don't want to buy this. But then, like I said, I will sometimes save the post or I will comment so that I know that it will come back to me. And then every time I see it, I'm either more attracted to it or I am more repelled from it. And over Black Friday, over Thanksgiving week, I found myself, there were a couple of video editing mini courses, $37, $27 offers that I was really intrigued by. They just made these effects seem so cool. And it's like, I would love to do that. And I saved them. And then they kept showing up on my feed. And I started thinking, do I really want to do this? It looks really cool, but is it more work than I want to do? I'm all about simple. I have minimized my life so much. I don't know if you saw it, but this is what I live in. It is a 7 by 14-foot cargo trailer. My husband and I live here. And I don't want to put the time and the effort in to make these catchy edits and stuff. It's fun. I've done a little bit of it, but for that to be my primary focus, no, that just seems be cool to learn, but do I want to do it? Probably not. So, yeah. So I just keep scrolling on those. But then there are others that they just sound like they would be helpful. And I start to wonder, will I regret that I didn't purchase this $37 custom human design report, which I bought recently? Because I want to live a life with no regrets. And so sometimes when we look at something that we think will be really valuable to us, not even on a return on investment business decision, but just something that calls to me as the unique individual that I am. If I pass on that, it's like, is this a missed opportunity for me to grow? Oh, is it a missed opportunity for me to grow? And so I purchased this report and it was amazing. I have no regrets at all for purchasing that $37 report. And I have purchased some smaller things and it's like, yeah, I think I pretty much already knew all of that, or I know I won't use it. So think of how you are as a consumer and allow yourself to step into the shoes of the creator of that and what it is they're hoping to do. Now, some people, they just want to sell more products. But heart-centered people like us, we want to create and help people have their transformation, right? So when we're creating our content, when we put our hearts into it and we start talking about the transformation of dancing with your fears instead of pushing them away or just pretending they don't exist, when we can dance with them and move in rhythm with them and let them, I'm not very rhythmic, but when we can do that and we can start to say, fear, I see you. I recognize you're trying to keep me safe, but I think I'm okay. I think I'm okay walking to those mountains out there, but come along with me. Help me keep aware of what's going on out in the middle of the desert. We did see some coyotes just the other day. So we know those things are out there. So be with me. Help me enjoy this experience. Help my keep my excitement level up. Because I still feel nervous right now. And I can feel those fears. They're dancing within my body. They're keeping the energy going. Because I'm really not, I'm a very quiet talker. My husband is always saying, what? And it's not because he has a hearing problem. It's because I do tend to speak softly and I speak slowly. But I'm nervous, so I'm speaking faster than I usually would, which is good for you. And never hesitate to put this on 1.25, 1.5, or 2.0 speed. Save yourself some time and some sanity. But we all have our fears. And when we acknowledge them and we say, hello, fear, let's go for a ride. Let's take a journey. Let's walk to those mountains over there. This is what I want to do. Come along with me instead of pretending they don't exist. It changes our perspective on how we're looking at what we're doing, what we want to create. And it gives us that little bit of a push to go just a little bit farther than we thought we could. It's really beautiful when you work in alignment with your fears, because our fears are, like I said, they're just trying to protect us. Our brain's job is to keep us alive. If we are surviving, our brains are happy, and fears are protecting us. And our fears are habitual too. I talked about habits a little bit the other day, but from a different perspective. But we have learned what to be afraid of. Our parents taught us when we were very young not to touch the stove, it could be hot. And then perhaps we were one of those contrary children. We touched the stove anyway and we didn't get burned. It was off. And so we thought it's okay to touch the stove until the day we touched the stove and it was hot. Ouch, mommy, ah. We all have our unique personalities and natures for whether we listen to warnings or whether we defy them, not because we are intentionally just being defiant. We want to experience it. We want to know rather than just believe what someone else told us. And both ways work as long as we're aware of what we're doing. When you're promoting your coaching and healing practice, you are going to feel afraid. You're going to feel that doubt and the uncertainty of whether people will buy it. But here's the thing. Oh, I started to talk, circling way back, way back. When you go into a store, you don't purchase everything that's there. On social media, you don't stop and actually intentionally consume every piece of content that is there. Other people are the same way. Even though this is your baby, your brainchild, your heart child, more people are going to scroll by. Many, many, many more people are going to scroll by, give it a cursory look, then will stop and pay attention to it. That is the nature of humanity. There's so much stimuli out there. So much. And depending on where you are, where your audience is in this moment in time, will dictate whether or not they stop and consume your content. It is part of the game. And I do encourage you to look at it as a game. Have fun with it. Explore, expand yourself. Be on your journey, your walk to your mountains, and see who comes along for the ride. See who walks with you a few steps and then says, oh, I'm going to go this way. See who walks with you farther and veers off just before you get to the end point. Enjoy the walk with those who say, yes, I'm in this with you. We're going to the top of that mountain. And you shore each other up so that when it starts to feel heavy, starts to feel like you're never going to get there, you're working off of each other and saying, we can do this. Let's just take a rest. We don't have to stop. We can just take a rest. We don't have to go back. We just need to take a rest. You rest for a few minutes, a half an hour. You have something to eat. You have something to water. You talk, you laugh, and you talk about the journey and you say, oh my gosh, I can't believe how hard that was. And then one of you looks back and says, but look how far we've come. And look how close our dream is. Do we really want to turn back now? And you sit there and you shake your head and you say, nope, let's keep going. That's what you do as a coach, as a healer. That is what you do. You're encouraging people to continue on their path, to complete the transformation. We don't want to be butterflies who get stuck in our cocoon because we don't want to do the work to break free of that shell. We want to be the people that keep picking at it, picking at it. And if, like me, you've been trying to create income online for 20 years and you think maybe it's just too late for me, well, the message I get from the universe is it's my time, it's my turn, and I'm ready to do it because it's so beautiful. I have had so many pauses over the decades. So many times when I thought, you know what, this really isn't for me. My heart was never in being a coach or a healer. I loved learning about the business of it. I loved learning the skills. I say now that I coach people, but I am not a coach. I am more of that mentor, that guide, that person who's walking beside you. I take no responsibility for your success. It's all on you. But if I can help you, if I can inspire you, if I can point out to you, look how far you've come. And that sparks your inner juices to say, yeah, I have come a long ways. Yeah, I can go further. And then I'm there saying, yes, you can. I believe in you. That's my role. So, doubts, fears, uncertainties. We all have them. When we embrace them and we share them with others, it makes the load a little bit easier. And that's not to say I don't want you to think that they're silly, or I don't want to minimize the impact that they have, because I know from personal experience how crippling they can be. The tools that I've learned along the way are understanding more about how our habits work, about how our brains work, about how our mindset impacts everything. One of my favorite stories growing up, and it served me well when I was training for that bike ride, that 3 day, 187-mile bike ride. And it helped me to train for triathlons and for a half marathon, and for pretty much anything that I have taken on in my life. I used to love still do, the story of the little engine that could. Do you remember that one? Let me know in the comments. Type little engine if you're familiar with the story. The little engine that could is the story of a little engine that was retired to a rail yard, and there were big locomotives now, and there were, super powered ones that they could go up and down the mountains. And there was a mountain, and there was a town on the other side of it, and it needed some supplies. And the big streamlined trains, for whatever reason, they couldn't make the trip. But this little town needed supplies. And so the little engine said, I'll go. And everyone said, oh, you're too little. You can't go. You're not weak. You're old. You can't go. You can't handle that trip. And the little engine said, I think I can. So they hooked up the car with the supplies that the town needed. And the little engine pulls off and says, I think I can. I think I can. And it's going up this hill. I think I can. I think I can. Going up the hill. I think I can. Oh, this is hard. Oh, but if I stop, I'm going to just roll backwards. I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. Gets to the top of the mountain, and then it starts to go down. And I know I can. I know I can. I know I can. I know I can, because down is easier for the train. For me, hiking up has always been easier than going down. But now I'm looking at it. I'm looking at the people in the Legacy Builders community. The digital growth community is what it's actually called. And there are people like me. Some are younger, some are older, some have different focuses than I do, but they're sharing in the wins in this community that I earned $900 today. My first $900. I got my first $900 today. I was out shopping this was a big one recently with Christmas. I was out shopping for my grandkids, and I made a $600 sale. I'm so excited. And I look now I see their wins. And instead of I think I can, it's if they can, I can. If they can do it, I can do it. If they can do it, I can do it. If you are a coach or a healer, and a healer, we are both, and you are thinking, I think I can, I think I can, I invite you to learn more about the Digital Growth Community, the Legacy Builders program, which is here to teach you social media marketing skills. And people who are succeeding with it are part of the community. And we have mentors within the group. Every week we have calls with these mentors who have earned six figures and more, coming on to mentor and guide the rest of us, to give us that encouragement, to be the coaches to Oprah. And we are the Oprah in that case. We just don't know what we're capable of yet because no one has really guided us, no one has supported us. And the Legacy Builders program is that bridge from our failed attempts in the past or the spinning of the wheels, and it's a path that will get us to our dreams. I am loving this program, and I have set a goal to help 62 coaches and healers overcome their doubts and their fears and their uncertainties related to promoting their services on social media by the time I turn 62 in May. But that still feels like a big, daunting, I doubt I can make it. I'm afraid to say that out loud. I'm uncertain about how to actually get there. I'm still facing all of those same hesitations that you are. And yet, showing up is one of the first steps. Being consistent in creating content is a key to your success. So, I have changed, well, not changed. My mission is to help at least 62 coaches and healers learn social media marketing skills, overcome those doubts, fears, and uncertainties by the time I turn 62 in May. My goal for January is to help at least 5 coaches and healers learn these skills. We are on a journey. It is an amazing journey, and you're not alone. And I can help you with those doubts, those fears, those uncertainties. I can be your cheerleader. And if you would like to learn more, type ready in the comments because I would love to share information on this program with you. And you may be saying, there she goes. I knew she was going to try to sell me something. So why, those doubts, those fears, the uncertainties, it's like, I don't want to be sold to. I don't want someone to start harping on me. I don't want to get on someone's email list so that they start pushing me to purchase something. I get it. Well, here's the thing. You won't know if this is something you will regret not learning more about. No obligation. You can, I have a capture page. Oh, let me see if I can do this. But my stuff shows up backwards. So it doesn't really seem like it does much good. But just for practice sake, I don't know if I can say this, but for its and giggles, if you're familiar with that phrase. Oh, and it didn't save my stuff. Oh, it did. So, oh, let me turn it this way. Will it turn? All right. So I do have, see, oh, that's so glary. My goal, so that didn't work because it's too much glare. Yes. Brain fart, nerves, because that didn't work out. If you're interested in learning more, type ready in the comments. I will share the link to my landing page, which invites you to learn more about the Legacy Builders program, to up your social media marketing game. Put your email address in it, and then you will be taken to a page where I talk about how I use the Legacy Builders program as an internship-like program to learn social media marketing skills. These skills are directly transferable to what you need to do to promote your coaching and healing practice online. The thing I love about looking at this as an internship program is I have no emotion. Excuse me. I have no emotional attachment to the four courses that you can purchase. They're amazing programs. The $100 level, if you just want to start an online business and you just want a starting point, that's a good option. My recommendation to coaches and healers is to start at the $300 passive daily pay blueprint level. This will give you this is a business in a box opportunity. So it's a course where you learn how to sell these courses that you're learning from. It's very meta. But you're learning along the way. You're learning skills. One of the big skills you're learning is how to be comfortable on camera, how to create compelling posts to attract people. So I really do love that it's an internship from, excuse me, from my perspective. But you can put your email in, learn more about the program, and then you can unsubscribe at any time. I will, you will start receiving emails that are encouraging you to learn more about this program, to tell you more about this program. Unsubscribe at any time once you know that you're not interested. It's okay. That's what happens. That's what the online business world is all about. And here's an important thing to remember. If you want to be a coach or a healer and you're using social media to market your business, this is part of the business. This is not personal. This is just the way it goes. Think of all of the email lists you've put yourself on because you've been intrigued enough to learn more about an offer. And for me, I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. And so I will stay on these lists way too long. I never open them, or I will open them, scan them, and say, yeah, no. And then eventually I will go through a spurt of just deleting and unsubscribing from all of these emails that really have no appeal to me. And that's just the way that I work. Other people, as soon as they join an email list, they'll get the free download and then they'll immediately unsubscribe. And that's okay too. Sometimes we coaches and healers, because we are such intuitive and sensitive people, we let our doubts, our fears, our uncertainties hold us back. And if we are going to have a business, we need to separate ourselves and put a protective bubble up in between us and our business so that what's happening in the business is not affecting our mental and spiritual health. Because our goal is to expand our impact out there, right? What we want to do is to invite more people to start discovering what's available for them, the potential that's out there. Some people are so caught and stuck in the naysaying world, and they don't understand law of attraction. They don't understand that our thoughts really do become things. They don't understand that every thought we have flavors every experience we have. I look behind me and I see beautiful desert. It is teeming with life out there. And I know people who say the desert is just dead and brown. It's a difference of perspective. So doubts, fears, uncertainty. We all have them. We get to choose what to do with them. Our thoughts about those doubts, fears, and uncertainties will dictate our success. And you can either stay on this end of your bridge, this end of the canyon, with your doubts and fears, feeling safe, um, feeling like no one's laughing at you, feeling protected. Or you can find a bridge that will take you across where your dreams live. For me, Legacy Builders is this bridge. It is allowing me to learn that with my content, even though I feel like I'm saying the same thing over and over again, it's that message that people need to hear. And so I can say the same thing over and over and over again because different people will be listening each time. My journey, my goal is to keep what I'm saying sound fresh, even though it's familiar. It's like hearing a song on the radio. You may not know all the words to it, but you know the tune sometimes, and you may forget it in the middle. You know some of the words, and you sing some of the words incorrectly because what you heard isn't what's really there. It's all part of expansion and growth. All right. I'm losing my voice here because I don't usually talk this much. I really am a very quiet person. All right. So, tomorrow's topic is going to be complacency and having a personal philosophy. So I hope that you can join me tomorrow. It's been a blast. I am learning so much with this and still some things I have to figure out. And that's what I'm here for. All right. So signing off. This was day 1, 2, 3. Day 4 is in the books. Have an amazing day.